15 minutes of fame. Let's go.
Welcome back into the 14A Sports Radio Show. All right. 14A Sports Radio Show, as always, brought to you by Big Apple Sports Palace. Go there tonight or call them up for delivery, 201-858-1075.
Go there for the tournament games.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's a good stop.
They're open early. Get some wings, pizza, all the good shit.
Thursday and Friday, the tournament, probably two of the greatest sports days of the year.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, it's got to be up there.
That's a
Those
are sick days, right? I'm feeling ill those days. Yeah,
I
no
wish.
doubt about it.
I wish I should have. I was talking to a guy today. He just took off the next 2 days. He's just gonna hang out, watch the games. I'm like,
man.
I am jealous of you to no end.
Well, at the work day, actually, what's good, I think these days with technology, is you can get the games going, on a computer screen.
Yeah.
You can see them. Back in the day, though, imagine before the internet and stuff, you shut out. Listening to basketball on the radio, not the same effect whatsoever.
I remember in high school, we'd be in like gym class trying to sneak into like Hanson's office.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Get a piece of the TV or wherever else you could see it.
All right. All right, so I guess we'll start off with the South region.
Yo.
All right. All right, so the big deal here, Florida gets the number one. They should waltz right through this. But as we've seen in plenty of tournaments, there's upsets going on all the time. All right, I guess I'll start off for anybody else.
Nah, go ahead. I mean, not every game.
Nah,
but what do you got? Go ahead.
Let's just touch on the first two rounds, and we can kind of delve into other stuff. But who you like, who you don't like.
A couple upset alerts here. I like Stephen F. Austin against VCU.
I have the same thing.
VCU's always had the shoe on the other foot as the underdog coming up there, so I think they're ripe for the picking here. I also like Dayton against Ohio State.
We're on the same page.
Right, I like, Ohio State has problems scoring a lot.
Ohio State is not the same kind of team that they have been prior years.
And Dayton, hey, they're the Flyers. I mean, they're a very athletic team. They get it going up and down the court. They actually got 2 transfers from Ohio State, so they could really stick it to the Buckeyes in this one.
See, I don't know. I think VCU's got the chip on the shoulder now. Coach K's calling them out. Shaka Smart stepping up. Little words through the press.
Well, they had an early exit last year, and again, they're a very good defensive team.
Yeah.
But again, problem scoring, and Dayton, the Flyers, as you said, I think they put up some points, and I like that upset going. You know what it is? You got to find some of those 5-12 matchups, and you got to run with a couple of them.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it in this bracket, but do you see any 215s or?
Those are so tough to predict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
I
really
don't
are.
see Kansas going down.
I will say one thing. I know I've heard a lot of people saying maybe Western Michigan, upset Syracuse in this one. Hold the phone a sec, everyone. Western Michigan, they've had games this year where they've scored 35 and 37 points respectively in their games. So, and this is another thing too with Syracuse, how they got the 2-3 zone going. I know that's it hasn't been their forte coming down the stretch here, but it's a different look that a lot of teams don't.
The tough thing, if you run into a team that's hitting 3-pointers, that's how an underdog can catch up to a team that's much more athletic or better. And Syracuse's defense gives teams 3-pointers if you can break it down correctly.
I'll tell you what, though. I like Syracuse. You remember, I know we all remember Syracuse started out like 25-0. They were number 1 ranked team in the country. Then Jeremy Grant goes down. Really, they couldn't find an offense. It was pretty much just innocent C.J. Fair. But I think, Grant coming back, giving that third option. I like Syracuse making a deep run, actually.
Me too.
And I can see them knocking off Florida. I have Florida.
Whoa.
I have Florida there, but I like this Syracuse team. Tyler Ennis might be the best point guard in the bracket. I like that play. And again, I think the 2-3, they play it so well, and most teams don't see it often. So, could a team get hot and outshoot them? Of course that could happen. But I like Syracuse. I feel like they're fully loaded now. They struggled during the middle part of the season, but that injury was a big factor. So I see them making a pretty deep run.
All right.
I got the 2 to the Elite 8. Who you guys like?
To the Elite 8, I've got Florida against Syracuse. But before that, I've got my darlings from last year who did not.
You got New Mexico?
Yeah, I got them beating Kansas.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Imbibe doesn't play, which it doesn't look like he's gonna, I think Kansas is going to be in trouble.
I think so too.
I really do. They have a ton of talent, but they haven't played that well this year.
We're eye to eye on this bracket.
I'm saying it.
Watch out! Last time we were eye to eye, we nailed the Super Bowl.
I am nervous
Nipsey,
about
get on
this.
board. Let's make it
I
happen.
am nervous about this.
All right, so yes, I got Florida against Syracuse, lead 8. Florida advancing after.
All right, where are we making a move next?
Let's see here. Let's go to the East.
All right.
All right, you got Virginia, the 1 seed here. This is also the one where Michigan State. A lot of people like them. Got UNC in the bracket, Iowa State, Villanova. A couple names to make
I feel like
up
this is the weakest bracket. By
Absolutely.
far.
Well, the weakest 1 seed, no doubt. With Virginia was definitely the weakest.
I feel
one.
like I kind of agree with Walsh that Nova's a pretty weak too.
Agreed. Agreed.
And then who you got as a 3 here? Iowa State.
Iowa
State. They won the Big 12. You got to give them props for that.
They could shoot it. That's Iowa State's a shoot. Fred Hoiberg, you remember his heroics? He's the coach. They're the kind of team where, if they shoot well, they're very tough out. But you always have those days, instead of going, 12 for 28, you're going 6 for 28.
And who knows if you got a dome in the background or whatever's going on.
One game I like here, right? I like another 5-12. I like Cincy knocking off Harvard knocking off Cincy.
Baby.
I'll tell you what, I watch a lot of Cincy. The kid Kilpatrick, All-America, right? I think he was second or third team All-America. Okay. But he's so much of their offense. And since he has no point guard play whatsoever, they have no point guard play. Tommy Avager's Harvard, what are they, the Crimson?
I think so.
The old Crimson?
Jeremy
the
Lin
Crimson
alumnus.
Crest?
Yeah. No, Harvard's taking out. Harvard's taking out Cincy in that 5-12 right there.
Yeah,
Cincy. They thrive on their defense, but they definitely had times where they can struggle offensively.
They can't score enough. Can't score enough.
And if you just run into a bad game here, and Harvard just so, precision-wise, just so well done, so well put together.
And Kilpatrick's an NBA player, but he's a one-man crew, and they have no guard play. They don't have any. He tries to play the point, but they struggle there, and Harvard's going to force him in a bunch of turnovers, and that's my most confident 5-12.
Okay, I like that one too. I had that. I got St. Joe's knocking off UConn first. Not a big thing, but
you got the Holy War in the second round.
The Sweet 16s. It's going to be a little interesting here because I got Virginia against Michigan State, chalk all the way through to Sweet 16.
The top 4.
I like, although beforehand, that Iowa State UNC matchup. I feel like the winner of that has a very good chance to advance to the Final Four because I like both of those teams. I had a little bit of trouble, like some different brackets that I did. I alternated between Iowa State and UNC.
Are you one of those like you do 8 different brackets?
I did 4.
I'll do 3.
You gotta optimize the chances.
Why am I putting all my eggs in one bracket?
Yeah. Very good.
Spread it out. You got to diversify your bonds, son.
Very good.
Yeah. You going with you winning the Warren Buffett $1 billion?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you're in on that? There you go.
Top 20 at least. Give me $100G, Warren.
Gotta have that 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's pretty good odds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't like about this is everybody's on Michigan State.
Yeah.
And you always get nervous when that one team's like everybody's golden boy.
I agree with
which
you.
is always a little scary. But sometimes you got to ride that too.
Here's what I think Michigan State, again, a team that was never completely healthy throughout the whole year, struggled.
True story.
But they have 3 NBA players on that team. Tom Izzo obviously has shown he's a tremendous tournament coach, right?
Of awesome tournament records.
Now, this Michigan State team, usually they kill you on the boards, especially those offensive boards, and they haven't done that throughout the course of the year. But I think now, they showed in the Big Ten tournament, they're just coming into full swing, and I like them coming in. I like the hot team, and it sucks picking what everyone else picks, but I think they're the most talented team in that bracket. Tom Izzo is a no-brainer, tournament coach. I like the combination, so they're my pick coming out of
I got UVA beating Michigan State in that Sweet 16 matchup. I think UVA's got the bodies to bang up with them.
I don't think they score enough. I don't think UVA scores enough.
Again, a great defensive team again, but
I don't think they put up enough points
offensively.
It's all about what you can do.
Hey,
it can happen. But I got Iowa State moving on to the Final Four out of that region. Like I said, that they remind me so much of New Mexico from last. They're gonna break my heart. I know they are. This is gonna be the team that gets knocked out in the first game right here. But I'm picking them for the Final Four.
All right, sounds good.
I just want to get that picture of you with the crystal ball. We'll post that up there with the Iowa State prediction.
The broken crystal ball. But all right, let's move on.
All right, let's move it on again to the West. This is the one where Arizona's the number 1 seed here, Wisconsin the 2, Creighton the 3, San Diego State the 4. Another weak region here, and I see Arizona moving all the way through.
I got Arizona also. They
I
had
like Creighton a lot though here.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dougie McBuckets.
I mean, them offensively is just so effective. I just feel like they can just outscore everybody. I mean, I don't see a lot of defensive, defensive laden teams in that bracket.
Right.
I was reading through some of like the modeling with the analyticals of some of the brackets, like with the teams with the best percentages to get to like the Final Four. Arizona had the best percentage to get to the Final Four.
Okay.
Of any bracket. So it seems like they have the easiest road. They're out in the West. They really only have to travel to out of one state.
Here comes the travel.
I'm actually
the traveling secretary.
but that was a factor into like the rankings or the percentages of how they get there. Obviously Arizona's still one of the best defensive teams in the country.
Right.
Aaron Gordon's still there. They lost. I think my friend Ashley. I think his name is midseason.
Yes, and that's been a big loss for them.
That's been a big hurt for them. They were the number one team. Basically undefeated until that happened.
But
I still like Zona, but I think Creighton has a shot out of this bracket.
Okay, just real quick, I'm on Zona 2. Sean Miller, one of the best, most underrated coaches in the country. I think he's had a couple other teams. He was the coach. Remember when Xavier always in the Elite Eight
and they
year
came
after
up
year
against
after
Duke?
year? Yeah, they actually beat Duke.
No, Duke beat him.
Well, all right,
it was close.
So that year,
close.
All right. But Xavier beat Duke a couple times in the tournament. But Sean Miller, one of the most underrated big-time coaches in the country. I think this year he gets to his first Final Four and kind of puts his name on a map a little bit. And part of it, I agree with you. I think they have pretty much the easiest road going to the Final Four.
All right, upset alerts here in the region. The 5-12, of course, North Dakota State against Oklahoma.
And watch out for Oklahoma State, too. Marcus Smart's still in there. So
the point spread on this game, too, is either at a 4 or 5 for Oklahoma. So I like to look at those two when trying to pick an upset. That's probably the lowest point differential.
Really?
Now,
you can't know anything about North Dakota State,
Absolutely
can you?
not. I did a little bit of homework.
You like the 12 seed.
A little
point
bit.
Spread's not outrageous.
Everybody loves the 5-12 upset.
I hear you.
Well, North Dakota State, they lead the nation in field goal percentage. Big, strong, versatile team. Oklahoma, though, only one.
Well, she did a little homework.
Only one loss.
Michael?
Who you reading off the ESPN website?
I got my notes. I got my notes, baby. And Oklahoma, though, only one loss over 10 points. That one loss over 10 points was 11. So, especially in that tough conference there, they're a battle-tested team. I want to do, like North Dakota State, probably the lowest, like I said, the lowest point spread, but Oklahoma seems like a pretty good battle-tested team.
All right, I can dig it. SDSU, remember, that's Steve Fisher.
Yes.
Right? The former Fab 5 coach. So they made it with the Kawhi Leonard team. They made a run a couple years ago. So they're going to
and they played well all year, too.
Yeah, they're going to probably get Zona in the Sweet 16. That's going to be a tough game, so... but again, I got Zona going on that one.
All right. The Elite Eight, I've actually got Arizona against Baylor. I see Baylor rocking through Nebraska, Creighton. I got Oregon over Wisconsin, the round of 32. But, again, Arizona against Baylor.
Creighton going out early. You don't like Doug McDermott?
I don't. I think they're a soft
Smith
team,
Player
soft
of the Year
conference.
possibility?
Yeah, that doesn't work that well in a tournament.
Yeah, and
it
then
really
they could
if you're
just
looking
load
for
up on him defensively and then completely X
Creighton's
him
a
out
balanced
of the game.
team, though. I mean, they shoot the lights out.
Yeah,
they
they shoot. They're shooting.
The Blue Jays, that don't scare me.
I mean, if the buckets aren't going down, they could struggle, but I see them doing well. We'll see.
I don't like those one-man big-time players. A lot of those teams go down early. Just thinking historically, Duncan's team went out. Van Horn was actually an excellent college player.
Yeah, no. Durant went out early.
Durant had DJ Augustine. Rick Bourne's a terrible coach, by the way. Don't pick Texas. Don't.
All right. Well, Texas is in this region. Wichita State, the 1, Michigan, the 2, Duke, the 3, Louisville, the 4. Probably the toughest bracket or toughest region throughout the whole tournament. Yeah. Any upsets here?
So I like Louisville. Again, we talked about this to start. What do you think? A lot of people have Kentucky knocking off Wichita State in the second round.
I agree. I saw something from one of the pro bettors. They said if Kentucky and Wichita State met in the second or the third round, Kentucky would be a 1-point favorite in that game.
Really?
Yeah. Very telling sign right there.
So the second round is now the third round.
Right, yeah.
It's still my second round.
Yeah.
I'm not changing rounds just because they make
trying to be politically
games.
correct.
I like NC State here. They got the guy TJ Warren, or Ty Warren. I'm messing up his name. But they played well the other night. I know he turned his ankle a little. But going against St. Louis, I'll use the weak conference argument there. But I was all ready to jump on Wichita State, especially the fact that everybody's been kind of cutting them down, being like, they're weak conference, weak division. I mean, they only got to the Final Four last year, and they only went undefeated all this year, which is not an easy test to do, no matter who you are. But yeah, that is a beast of a conference to go through. I think I'm going to take Louisville here. I'll jump on the bandwagon with everybody else. But
okay. Yeah, I Louisville meeting Michigan. I think that Duke-Michigan matchup, Sweet 16. They might shoot 4 million threes and score about 120 points each because neither of them play any defense, but they could both absolutely score. But I think Michigan.
I feel like they met a couple years ago in the tournament.
They did last year, didn't they meet?
Was it last
2 years ago?
Duke
2 years back? No, Duke,
Michigan. Recently.
Oh yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
It was the round of 32.
And Beilein, I love Beilein as a coach. I think he's a tremendous overall coach.
Who else
specifically
loves
the tournament. My boy.
Our boy.
Well, did you know tomorrow's his 60th birthday?
Number
one.
What do you think?
I forgot to mention. My apologies.
What do you think I wore this shirt for?
I remember E's birthday, but I forget Mike.
Yeah, come on. How do you disrespect the Pope?
My apologies.
Quick side note: they did Life in the Mike, Mike Francesa's Life, something like that.
A day in the life.
A day in the life. Newsday did it, and it was one of the best, if not the best, newspaper article I've ever read. It's all the over-the-top stuff that you would expect,
haven't read mine.
but even better. And the one thing that was tremendous, how many Diet Cokes do you say he drinks a day? Guess what he said.
2?
He goes, 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, he cracked his first one for a maximum of 2. He only drinks 2 a day. Get out of town. That's absurd.
Trying to cut back, though.
I had Michigan, Louisville. Just because everyone else picked Michigan, Louisville. I had Michigan State already. I have a Michigan State matchup in a Final Four.
Would they meet there, or would it be Michigan, Arizona?
You're right. You're right.
But yeah, no, that would be that would be a crazy Final Four matchup. But
yeah, I'm going with Duke Louisville. Before you get on the Homer pick, I think Jabari Parker, best player in the tournament.
Homer.
Duke can't stop anyone. That's the problem.
It's all right.
They don't play any defense at all.
Homer.
We'll be fine. I'm going with just the Jabari Parker factor, and then meeting up against Louisville there in the Elite Eight. I think they beat Louisville this year.
It's a rematch from last year.
Little story for you. I remember this reminds me of the 2002 Bayonne High hockey team where we got a 4 seed. Listen. We got a 4 seed in the state tournament, and it was like outrage. Like, how the hell could we get a 4 seed in the state tournament? Well, we ended up getting upset in the second round, so I could see the same thing.
So what does that mean?
I'll discuss more. It means plenty.
Do you even like sports?
I'm trying to speed this up here.
Let me be. How about we end it?
All right. So Final Four. I'll just go with it. 2 1s, 2 3s. Florida, Arizona, Iowa State, Duke. I see Florida and Arizona meeting up for the championship, and Florida the eventual winner.
I like the Florida Arizona matchup as well. I haven't picked mine yet. I'm going to hold off.
Michigan State, Arizona. Again, Sean Miller wins his first national championship.
Wonderful.
Bang.
There's the beautiful.
This This reminds me of a 1996 PAL team.
You're talking about PAL. I'm talking about real high school sports here.
Neither of which are relevant.
You have no imagination. No imagination, Matthew. When we get back, it's time for the second round of the Bayonne Bar Bracket. Special guest judges.